Hey there, guys. It's Vampire Preacher.
Yatta!
Did you miss me? I'm sure you didn't, because I've been streaming way too much as of late. Like, way too much as of late. But, lockdown, what else are you gonna do? Alright, so, today, we got kind of a weird one going. We're not streaming Far Cry as we've been for the past couple times. We're not streaming World War Z. We're gonna be streaming what we're supposed to be streaming, an unboxing. But no figures are coming out right now due to the global crisis, so unboxings are getting a little bit hard. It's getting a little bit hard to come by figures to do unboxings of. But, it's okay. Today we've got a very special unboxing. So, I know that in this coming week, I have... Here, let's make it so I can really talk to you. Really face to face. How are you doing? How is everything? How you holding up? Social distancing well? Making sure to wash your damn hands? Good. Staying the fuck in the house? Perfect. That's what I like to hear. We've got a couple of exclusives related to, at least tangentially related, to Black Widow. So, let's see what we've got, shall we? We've got 2 movie figures today, 1 comic figure. That's right, we're doing a very short unboxing, which is why a little bit of the Spider-Man later, maybe. But that's only if you're here on the stream. If you're not on the stream, you're not gonna see any Spider-Man. If you want to see my Spider-Man run, you got to see it here live. Otherwise, no go. But we might even have some customizing going on later. What do you got going on for us, Vamp? Well, you're going to have to wait and see. So, in the meantime, between time, you didn't come here to listen to me talk. You came here to listen to me talk about action figures. So, we'll start off with our first one of the day. Now, this one is actually a very new type of figure that Hasbro is doing. I'm kind of excited for. They have been starting to do deluxe edition figures. Figures that are bigger or have more accessories than your standard figure for about $10 more. We last saw this with the Red Hulk unboxing that we did, which was very cool. It was a bigger figure. It was a build-to-figure size figure for only $30. I know that we've got the Age of Apocalypse coming out, who's the build-to-figure of Apocalypse with a new head, a new paint scheme, and a cape, and a skull in his hand. That's kind of cool. We've got some other figures coming up like that, too. Nimrod's coming up, which... Thank you, Hasbro. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart, for once. Thank you. Let's see if you could screw it up today. But our first ever one that isn't a big, beefy boy is Black Widow. Interesting. Why does she get a deluxe edition figure? Well, enough of me talking about it. Let's find out what we've got. So, the deluxe edition Black Widow, as you can see, comes with a bunch of extra crap. And she really does. She's got this big display window here. Our window pane front shows off just everything she's got going on, which is quite some bit. We've got an artistic rendering on the side, and a little blurb all about Natasha, and showing us something unique that comes in this figure that has not come with any Marvel Legend prior. Well, at least not one quite to this level. A display stand. So we will take out our trusty opening tool. Also referred to as a balisong. And give her an open and see what's going on inside of here. So, she's got 2 trays. Thing 1. Our background is this very metallic-looking widow symbol. Looks kind of neat. Tray 2 we'll start out with because it's the smaller of the 2. So, tray 2 actually contains only one thing. Her stand. With a base piece, an arm piece, a rotating piece to make the extension for the arm, and, of course, the claw to the claw. To keep her in place. Now, the idea for this is that this just pops into any one of these and can be moved. I'm hoping it can be moved because I don't want that to be permanent. It can just be popped in here. This just goes up and down, but it's always going to be at a certain length. It's always going to be this tall, but this just kind of slides up and slides down. This piece also pops into here for our angle. And then our claw piece here pops in. So, this is our figure stand. One of the things that makes this figure $30 is our stand here. And I'll be honest, it's got a pretty big range of motion. It's got all the different spots here where you can plug this in. Very akin to a Tamashii Stage 2 stand. Or a Tamashii Stage 3 even. Where you can pop this into one of the different holes here to give it different positionings, give it different support, what have you. We've got our riser piece here. We've got the arm here, which does its twist about. This also twists in two different ways. It twists here at the base, and not at the base, it twists here at the claw arm. Additionally, the claw arm rotates as well, making it so that you can do something like this, where you can have it just straight up. And then the claws themselves are spring-loaded. Oh, that's very different. As someone who's got a bunch of the NECA stands, I've got 4 of the NECA Basic Edition stands that they've got. It's very different to see ones that are spring-loaded. It makes it so that you're not trying to force it closed. It's just going to snap closed no matter what. That's kind of nice, actually. As a stand, because you know what? This figure's giving me extra things to review, so screw it. I'm going to review them. As a stand, what do I think about it? Is it the best stand? No. Is it a nice addition? Oh god, yes. Hasbro, keep on giving us stuff like this. Keep on giving me stands for your figures. It's what's going to elevate you guys well above the standard little, just, oh, here's a stand, take it and deal with it. With your, like, single point. The first one that comes to mind is the Demo Goblin Flight Stand, which honestly is the first and only stand I can think of that you've even given us. Beyond that, we've been going to third-party vendors, like NECA, Tamashii, and even just bending up coat hangers to make flight stands. ToyBiz used to give us flight stands with pretty much every figure. You guys, not so much. That being said, this is a good step forward. Is it worth $10? Actually, yeah. I'd pay $10 for that stand. Plus, we get all of this extra goodies for our Black Widow. So you know what? Yeah, I'd say it's worth $10. Speaking of, let's talk about more of the effects pieces that come with the stand. We've got this Cheddar Bay biscuit, which is apparently supposed to be an explosion. It has a peg the same as the stand point does, so you can just kind of pop that in And it's not going to go anywhere now. We've got this smaller kernel of Chicago-style popcorn. It pops in just the same. We've got this triplet here of more explosions. Which, as a note, in addition to the large peg holes, there are also 2 small peg holes and then 2 foot pegs here. So this guy can pop... Oh, I'm sorry, there's even another one there. Meaning, if I pop this piece of popcorn off, I could put this right here. Then I'm going to guess I could do the same with these individual Tony Stark thrusters that are just pointed in a weird way instead of being pointed out forward, like Tony Stark's thrusters usually are. Make it so that there's just a rain of bullets at her feet. And with that, we can also pop in our Cheddar Bay biscuit. Pop that on here so that we've got an explosion going with our little bits coming off from the different gunshots. Yeah. Make a very large explosive scene underneath her that she probably set up and caused herself, I'm not gonna lie. As it's what Black Widow does. Of course, some of these things are all a mess, and I've probably got the stand in the wrong position for this. Should probably instead have the stand on the other side. These pieces are rather hefty. These bits here are rather hefty pieces, so they take up a wee bit of space. There we are. That actually even makes more room and more sense. Doing it kind of like that. Where now you can see the individual effect pieces really popping up around her, explosions going. Yeah, that works. That makes for some very dynamic scenes, and I'll be honest, I like this because it'll make my photography just step up a little bit more. So, good on you, Hasbro. Now that we've reviewed our stand, which, yeah, that stand with those effects, I'd call that worth $10. Let's get into the thing you actually came here to see, an action figure. So, this Black Widow comes with a ton, and I do mean a ton of accessories. She's got these 2 climbing axes a la Lara Croft. I'm sorry, Lara Croft. My apologies. She's got her twin pistols a la Lara Croft. I think I'm seeing a theme here. She's got these 2 effect pieces, which I'm not going to lie to you guys, I am very much liking. I know what you're saying. Why does she have 2 tiny blue hedgehogs? This is not the Sonic movie. What's going on here? I'm glad you asked. These are actually supposed to be her widow bites. So you could put these onto her arm here, and we'll do that in a moment, to make it seem as though she's actually firing off the widow bites. That'll be pretty nice. I anticipate using those effects for some really interesting ideas I have for some toy photography coming up. Namely, the first thing that comes to mind is the Battle of New York. When she jumps onto the Chitauri and starts just zapping it in the neck with both hands. That's the first thing I can think of with those, and honestly, yes, I want all of that to happen. Just all of it. She also comes with something we don't normally see with female figures. Extra hands. So that's actually a really nice thing. Now, question of the day is, did they improve on her articulation and the technology used in that at all for the figure? Well, let's find out. One thing that I do notice that they did improve on is right here. She has Hulksters on her thighs, which actually are usable. Now, regulars of the show will know I love practical things with my figures. Even though having figures themselves are not very practical, I love practical things like that. Practical storage. So, with the first Black Widow figure that we got, first MCU Black Widow figure, way back from the Captain America the First Avenger wave, we had a ScarJo Black Widow in that. Her Hulksters on her thighs have the guns molded into them. Same thing with the Maria Hill that we got. She's got the same Hulksters from Black Widow with the guns molded in. Having it so that the guns are here and removable, yet I can pose her with the guns in the Hulksters, that I love. That I absolutely love. I also love that Hasbro has been deciding to give us effect pieces so that we can do things like this. Let's pop off that hand so that you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about with our Widow Bite. Or if we pop off the hand, pop on our effect piece, suddenly now she's got a power punch going. And it fits perfectly over her hand. Like, it fits absolutely perfect. So that you can really get that look of her zapping into someone's neck with this. I like that a lot. I'm going to see if I can use these same effect pieces on other Black Widows. Because, yeah, I really want to use these on the Captain America the First Avenger Black Widow for that Battle of New York scene, where she had jumped onto the Chitauri's shoulders and was zapping the bejesus out of him with her Widow Bites in the thing's neck. So that is very cool to me. I love these effect pieces. I love that Hasbro's finally giving us effect pieces. Thank you, Hasbro. Alright. We'll get into our climbing axes and our alternative hands in a minute. Right now, let's get into the articulation. Actually, before I even do that, I want you guys to really take a look at this figure. If you can. If it's gonna... Are we gonna focus?
Fantastic!
It is honestly the best representation they've ever done of Scarlett Johansson. They took their face printing and turned it up to 11 for this figure. It is fantastic. It looks very cool. I love how accurate the head is. I genuinely want to put this head on even other bodies to make them... Not gonna lie to you guys, when I do that Battle in New York one, I'm gonna see if I can put this head on the Captain America the First Avenger body with these Widow Zappers. Widow Stings, if you will, because that's their actual names. So that it looks great while she's just zapping the bejesus out of poor Chitauri. Anyway, let's get into the articulation. For her neck articulation, we're looking down decently well. And looking up, an alright amount. Her hair really blocks her from going any further back. For her shoulder articulation, she's getting right about a T-pose. Yeah, right about a T-pose there. She's got a little bit too much flash here. If you can see, as it's, of course, it's hard to tell on a figure that's all white. She has some armor pieces on the shoulders that are making it so that they can't go up any further. She does not have bicep swivels, nor double-jointed elbows. Hasbro, I got them for Zarya. And Zarya cost me $5. Give them to me for a $30 Black Widow figure. Honest to God, give them to me. Single jointed elbows that only go in a little bit above 90 degrees. For these hands, her fist hands, they have the standard in and out wrist articulation. However, I noticed while taking out the others, they do not. Her other hands here have the sword cut. That's right. They actually gave Black Widow the proper hands that she should have for dealing with guns and the climbing axes. They're actually the sword cut hands. So that's awesome. That's an improvement. She only has the waist swivel, which can go a bit to the left, a bit to the right, a bit forward, and a bit back. There is no ab crunch here. Again, Hasbro, you have disappointed me with that. It really should have an ab crunch. If you're making us spend $30 on this, and you could give your Overwatch figures an ab crunch, you can give Black Widow an ab crunch, and bicep swivels, and a double-jointed elbow. You really can. For our hip articulation, you know, not bad. I was anticipating that the thigh holsters were really going to impede her articulation there, but they really don't. She's got some decent hip articulation. She, of course, has the thigh cuts. For her double-jointed knees, wow, that's really good. They can go all the way back. And they could go even further back, but she's got a little bit of extra flash there in the knee, keeping it from going any further. Honestly, that might be something to Dremel out a little bit of here, because it even looks a little unnatural with it straight. With it straight here. Can do a little bit of Dremeling here to get a little bit of that extra flash out, to make it so that they can go back even further. And it's not bad, but it's not perfect, when it really genuinely could be. For her ankle articulation, does she not have rocker? She does have rocker ankles. They're just done in a very odd way. They're more of a straight peg instead of the curved peg that they normally are. So she can turn her ankles more like this than our painful degree out, disturbing degree in that we normally do. However, that's a great deal forward. That's painful. Oh! Ooh! That just looks like it hurts. And she can go pretty much on point here. So, she's got a fair amount of articulation there. Now, before we do her measuring, since we've got extra hands anyway, let's see how she looks with her Tomb Raider style climbing axe. Yeah, she can wield that fairly well. Kind of do a awesome little maneuver here with her going from a climbing axe position to a zapping position. There we go. That's actually a fairly cool shot. And seeing as how we've got our flight stand here, just for Black Widow. Yeah, actually, that's a fairly neat position. I'm actually pretty happy with that. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This is cool. This is really cool. So, as I stated earlier, this figure is indeed $30. $30 dues for this figure here. That being said, with all of the explosion pieces on the bottom, with her articulation, is it the best? No, we could definitely get some better articulation. We can get something more akin to the Overwatch figures. But with some of the engineering they did with making the Hulksters actually functional, giving her extra hands with sword cuts, thank you. You can do a lot of things with this. You're essentially buying a $30 statue. That's the way I'm looking at it, is I'm going to have this displayed, probably with her doing some awesome flipping pose here, using this flight stand so that she looks like she's in the middle of a backflip while shooting someone or zapping someone or something or another like that. This is actually very cool. I've always been a big fan of doing acrobatic poses with Black Widow. Actually, if you go back to my original setup back at my old house, I had a pose of Black Widow doing something very akin to this, where she was doing a hands-free cartwheel jumping over Bullseye with twin Uzis in her hands. With the original, the very, very first Marvel Legends figure of Natasha Romanoff, of Black Widow. It was not a good-looking figure, but I made a really cool display out of it because they gave me a stand that's even got Black Widow's symbol on it. I might do something very similar with this figure because it's really cool. I like this figure. Before I give her a rating... Did you miss it? Very quickly, before I give her an official rating. Let's get a quick measurement out of her. And a quick measurement out of the stand, too, because why not? Alright, so... Black Widow is coming in at just under 6 inches. 5 3/4 inches. So she's a little bit short. Our stand is coming in at its topmost point. I should probably have this in inches, because who does the metric system these days? Honestly, who? No, everyone else in the world. Oh, well then. It's about 8 inches tall. So that you all can see what I'm looking at. Yeah, it's coming in right about 8 inches from the base to the tip. So, she's got an 8-inch tall stand. She herself is about 5 3/4 inches. So, how do I feel about the figure? How do you feel about the figure? How do you feel? We want to know. We'll do therapy time later. How do I feel about the figure? I feel like she's cool. I feel like they could have done a couple more things for her engineering. Based on the Overwatch figures, we know she could have gotten double-jointed elbows. She could have gotten an ab swivel. Or an ab crunch to go with her ab swivel. And they could have done something about the knees, just taking off that little bit of extra flash so that I don't need to, because I don't want to take a Dremel tool to expensive figures. I don't, because I don't want to buy this figure twice. I do think they could have done some things better. But the stand with the explosions, with the effect pieces, with the things they did for her Hulksters, and this gorgeous face. She's a solid 7. She's a solid 7. I'm not going to give her higher than a 7, and that's only because I've seen Hasbro do some better things with other lines of figures, and I'm a little bit salty that they're not doing that with their Marvel Legends. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm just a little bit salty that that's not happening with their Legends figures. Because they've shown us they can do some amazing technology with them, and we're not getting that brought over to the Marvel Legends side. So because of that, the Deluxe Edition Black Widow is a 7. She's not bad by any stretch of the words. She's not bad. Let me stress this. She is not a bad figure. She is a very good figure. But she's shy of being perfect. She is short of being perfect, but she's definitely not bad. I would personally say, if you can find her for the normal price of a Legend, if you can get your hands on her for $20, if you get a coupon, if you can find her on sale, something like that, grab her immediately. Don't even wait. If you find her for $30 and you've got an extra $30, you're like, it's neat. What did Vamp say? She's a 7. I do like Black Widow, and yeah, I like this one. And it's the only way to get her all-white movie suit is in this figure for her upcoming movie. So, yeah, you might want to grab this figure then. Moving on. Speaking of Black Widow in an all-white suit, let's go into some comic book background here. Namely, the Black Widow Deadly Origins figure. Now, this is a Target exclusive figure. It's the only place you're going to find this guy is Target. So, if you want her, she is available, depending on the store, in a limited quantities. And because Target is now limiting how many people go into the store, I would get her while you can. Target exclusives normally don't sell out unless you're Red Hulk, because that one sold out real quick. This one, I saw the other day. I was at Target myself, and I saw an entire stack of these. Now, I actually had someone pick this up for me prior to that, and I'm very happy that this person did. It was very, very helpful. It was insanely helpful. Yes, I got the figure, and I knew I was going to get it. Hooray. Let's get into what we've got at hand, shall we? So, we've got our window pane front, our artistic rendering on the side, our picture of the figure in the back, along with our small blurb about Natasha. We take our opening tool, our balisong, if you will, pop open the box, and see what we've got. So, one thing of note that we've got is an old style box. That's unusual. If you're a longtime viewer of the show, you'd know that they changed the Marvel Legends packaging not too long ago, so that the plastic clamshell actually slips onto this directly. So this is an older style of packaging. That's a little bit unusual. Her internal tray is the Black Widow symbol with some snow going over it, because it's Russia, it's always snowing. In the tray, we've got Black Widow. Surprise, surprise. We've got one very cool looking sniper rifle. One even cooler looking silenced pistol. The same pistol without the silencer. And the things that made me really excited about this figure. Now, we have seen these prior with other Hasbro figures, namely the Overwatch figures. We've got effects pieces. We have 2 smoke pieces, 2 muzzle flash pieces, And all of them actually go into her weaponry. So that actually makes me very, very happy. Now, we will examine her firearms and their various goodies that they come with in just a moment. First things first, let's review our figure herself. So, for our neck articulation, Natasha's looking down decently well, but that's all she can look up. She's got too much of a mane of hair here for her to look up any further. For her shoulder articulation, wow! She's going way above a T-pose here. She's got no excess flash up here, keeping it... So yeah, she can go way better than a T-pose. Alright. No bicep articulation. No double-jointed elbows. Single-jointed, she can only go a little bit better than 90 degrees here. Really? She's got the sword cut. Really? Her wrist articulation is the up and down sword cut. On the right hand. On her left hand, it's your standard in and out. Interesting. Very, very interesting. She, of course, has no waist cut here. Only an ab swivel, which can go a bit to the left, a bit to the right, a bit to the front, and a bit to the back. She's not moving too much there for you. For her hip articulation, she's okay. She's not grand, but she's alright. She does, of course, have the thigh cuts, the double-jointed knees, which can go back a fair degree. She's got a little bit too much plastic on both the thigh and the calf here to go all the way back, but it's going back a decent degree. She's got the standard ankle articulation, the standard rocker ankles, which can go a decent degree in, a disturbing degree out. A great degree forward. Look at that. That's a lot forward there. And she can go all the way on point back. So, all in all, her articulation's pretty standard. And I'm trying to see if there's any point where her belt comes... No, there's no point where her belt really comes undone. That is going to be unfortunate for what's going to happen later on in this review. What's with the ominous tone there, Vamp? What else is going to go on in this review? You'll see. You'll see. Very quickly, before we get into those awesome firearms, she is coming in at just under 6, but above 6 3/4 inches. So, she is just a hair under 6 inches. I mean, just a hair. That actually makes her slightly taller than her movie counterpart. And you can even see, putting them together, she is just a hair taller than the movie Scarlett Johansson version. Even though they're wearing very similar outfits. Now, let's get into some of the things that I was really looking forward to. These weapons. Now, am I looking forward to it because I need another sniper? Well, of course I always need another sniper rifle, and the silenced pistol is always a welcome thing, but the fact that now, for one of the first times in a Marvel Legends, we actually have a muzzle flash going, that's cool. So we can have a muzzle flash along with a smoking gun, a literal smoking gun. This is awesome. I love the fact that there is both a firing shot and a just done firing shot. This is going to greatly take up my photography. Honestly, look at how cool that looks, with the smoke billowing off of the front. Oh, that's amazing. The fact that these also sit perfectly into the rifle here, so that you can get that same shot. Now, the muzzle flash should be longer for the rifle. I'm going to be honest with you. So it would be more powder in it to make it go further, because of how rifles work. But the smoke afterwards is a pretty nice effect. This is neat. It's cool. I greatly enjoy what has been done here with having actual effect pieces instead of just having it be like, oh, this is right before all the shooting starts. It can be, no, the shooting has started. Or the shooting is happening, or the shooting just ended. That is going to make for some very cool posing and some very cool pictures. This figure as she is, if I've got to give her a rating, she's a 6. She suffers from all of the same problems that all Hasbro females do, where they don't have any care put into them, if I'm being honest. And I feel like the bodysuit here in white is just a copy of her one from her motorcycle figure, with a new head and differently colored Widow bites and belt. As a Black Widow figure, she's okay. I'm not going to tell you she's fantastic. I'm definitely not going to tell you she's perfect. But she is okay. As a Black Widow figure. However, surprise, it's customizing time! And it's going to be probably the easiest and laziest custom we've ever done on this channel. We're going to pop off her hands, pop off her Widow bites, another time, sometime later, I'm going to have to do the heat and pop. Slide down. We're going to slide down. And please. With this, we no longer have any accessories that say that she is Black Widow. Oh no, you and I know she is indeed Black Widow. And by taking a katana from any other Marvel legend, ladies and gentlemen, I give you a comic-accurate Colleen Wing. A character who's never had a figure and has been needing one for some time, especially with her role in the Defenders. We did get the Defenders box set Colleen Wing that was an SDCC exclusive. However, that figure is incredibly hard to get a hold of, very expensive, and based on a show that, well, no longer exists. However, for $20 more or less, you can get a comic-accurate Colleen Wing. Red hair, katana, and all in a white bodysuit to go along with your comic book Misty Knight from back in the Rhino wave. And if I'm being honest, that's how this figure is getting displayed. She is not going to be displayed with any of her Black Widow pieces, and these guns are going to go to other very deserving characters. But Colleen Wing, ladies and gentlemen. If you're feeling absolutely crazy, as I sometimes do, you can even take off her fully gloved hands here, replace them with your other Widow's half-gloved hands, which are both the sword cuts, and have her be an even more accurate version of Colleen Wing. So, thank you, Hasbro, for making it so that someone like me, who's been dying to have the other half of Nightwing Investigations, because my Misty's currently just hanging out with her boo, Iron Fist. But that's all she's been doing, is hanging with her boo, Iron Fist. Now, just like that, we have a comic-accurate Colleen Wing. I told you it was going to be a quick and lazy, but very effective custom. After all, that's all we needed. If you've got a different head you want to use that isn't one that looks pretty Natasha-like or has longer red hair, then go ahead and use that. In the meantime, these weapons are going to go to someone who's going to need them more. This figure is going to get to keep the katana, not get to keep any of the other Black Widow accessories. And that's going to be that. This is exactly how she's getting displayed. I'm going to, of course, do some different posing on her, but yeah. There you are. Colleen Wing. Using an extra set of hands from the Black Widow that we already have, that we just unboxed, and just honestly, any katana from pretty much any Marvel Legends. There's a couple that really won't work. The Back in Black Deadpool really won't work. But that's pretty much it. If you go for a red handle or white handle, you're good. And that takes care of all of the Black Widow figures we have for the day. That does not take care of all of our Marvel Legends. We've got one more. It is an MCU-based figure. It is a figure that I have been dying for personally for a while. I've been wanting this figure for a very long time. I think it's probably going to be the highlight of my collection. And I'll be honest with you guys, it's for 100% sentimental reasons. Our final figure review of the day is Stan Lee. Excelsior, my fellow Marvelites. We have the man, the myth, the legend, Stan. Now, this figure is not supposed to be out until June. I don't know why Hasbro already shipped me my Stan Lee figure, but I'm thankful. Hasbro Pulks got this to me early. I'm very happy for that. I've been dying to get Stan in my collection. He's needed. He's necessary to my collection because he's Stan Lee. Of course he's necessary. He's the most necessary part of Marvel. without him, we wouldn't really have a Marvel Comics. And Marvel Comics are a big part of who I've been since I was 7. I used to read DC from the ages of like 3 to 7. And then I switched over to Marvel. And I cannot be happier that we actually have Stan in figure form for us here, so that he can be amongst his creations and be among the universe that he helped grow. Now, I know, of course, I'd also like a Jack Kirby figure. I'm not going to lie. I would like a Jack Kirby figure, too. He's going to go very well next to my, and I wish I was joking here, my Todd McFarlane figure, because I have a figure of Todd McFarlane. They're probably going to hang out on my display. Enough of me getting emotional. Let's get into it, shall we? So, we've of course got our window pane front with our pseudo signature here. It's a copy of Stan's signature. On the side, instead of having an artistic rendering, we just have Stan's catchphrase, if you will. Excelsior! To anyone that does not know what Excelsior means by now, it is not the previous first definition of packing peanuts. It means upward and onward to greater things. I think that's a motto we could all use right now. And on the back, we've got a picture of the Stanley figure in the pose that they're intending for him to be in, because it's based on his cameo in the first Avengers movie, where he is being interviewed in the park while playing chess. All about the aliens and saying how aliens and superheroes, I don't buy it. Inside the packaging, his backing is rather just plain. It's a red sunburst. It's nothing to really go, wow, that's a great backing. It's not the backing you're getting this for. He comes with a Captain America shield, because of course he does. Signed by himself, because it's something that he would often do at conventions, is sign Captain America shields like that. He comes with the folded up chess set from the Avengers cameo. And, of course, we've got Stan. Let's get into his articulation, shall we? He can look down fairly well for someone that didn't look down on anyone. He can look up with great hope. For our shoulder articulation, he can get better than a T-pose. He does have bicep swivels. He's a figure with coat sleeves that has double jointed elbows, and I cannot believe I'm ever going to say this. I cannot believe these words are about to get out of my mouth. Ladies and gentlemen, Stanley has... He's got that good flex. You know it, you love it, I love it. Stan the Manly has that good flex. He has the standard in and out wrist articulation for both of his hands. He has a waist cut, even though he has a waist swivel. He doesn't have a waist swivel. I thought he did, the way the outfit looked. By the way, this is not a retread of previous mold. This upper body is a completely new mold for Stan. He's got an ab crunch instead, where he can go fairly far forward and a decent ways back. The pants, I believe, are the same that we've seen with Agent Coulson and others with the suit body. But they have a alright range of hip motion. He does have the thigh cuts here. The double jointed knees, which if it weren't for a little bit of flash back there, again, the same as we had with our first Black Widow figure, we've got a little bit too much flash here at the back of the knee. Otherwise, he'd be able to go back even further. He's got the standard rocker ankles, which can go a disturbing degree in, an incredibly painful degree out. A little bit forward, and all the way on point back. Finally, Stan is measuring in also at just under 6 inches. He's actually the exact same height as the Black Widow Deadly Origin figure. Just under 6 inches. I mean, just under. All in all, what can I say about this figure? What can I say? It's Stan Lee. It's a wonderful piece to have on your shelf if you are a Marvel fan. Yeah. You're a fan of Marvel Comics, you're a fan of Marvel movies. If you're a fan of Teen Titans Go to the Movies, where he even made a cameo there because he just loves cameos. If you're a fan of Stan Lee and anything that he had a hand in creating, go grab this figure. It's well articulated. They have some actually very good, some rather impressive, if I'm being 100% honest, engineering they put into this. As we have I'm not going to say a suit body figure, but a plainclothes figure with the sleeved jacket arm that is double jointed, something we don't normally see. Has bicep swivels, something we don't normally see. I mean, for Stan Lee, it's everything I could have wanted and so much more. Now I need to ask, out of question, are the glasses here removable? Yes and no. I wouldn't really recommend it, but they did actually do face printing on his eyes. So if you were to remove the glasses, which, why are you going to remove Stan's aviators? He needs the aviators as much as he needs the mustache. If you wanted to, though, they did do full face printing on him, and it looks fantastic. It looks... I mean... I know my camera's not going to focus in, but... it looks like Stan.
This is a figure I've been wanting to have in my collection for a very, very long time. And the fact that they finally gave us the man behind the modern myths is everything that I need in an action figure. As a figure itself, you want the most awesome old guy you can get on your shelf, grab him. You want the person that made it so that all of your summer blockbusters, including the #1 movie of all time, is there. Grab him. As a figure itself, there's like 2 things that I'd have done different. It's just a little bit of flash here and there. But you cannot deny that with the gravitas behind exactly who it is in figure, Stan is going to get the one thing I've never given on this channel. He's at 10 out of 10.
Excelsior!
He's at 10 out of 10 for sure. I'm sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. We got a little bit emotional today. I thank you all so much for coming. It has been a wonderful unboxing. Next week, hopefully, fingers crossed, we've got the full Black Widow movie wave coming. Hopefully sometime this week. Fingers crossed it'll be here. Otherwise, who knows? Maybe we'll do, I've got some Fortnite figures that I've been sitting on that I haven't wanted to unbox for whatever reason, that I've been wanting to use as just nameless goons. Why not? Might be able to do that for next week if we don't, only if we don't get our Black Widow movie wave in, will we not do that, and we'll instead do Fortnite figures, because we gotta unbox something. Nobody's getting figures right now. In the meantime, though, thank you everybody so much for joining us. Have a great day. Keep it nerdy, and of course, due to our last review here, actually, before I cut it off for the day, I will say we had a short unboxing stream today. Just a few figures. Some for our new movie, some for the origins of a new movie, and one that's very much been needed. But what I need you all to do right now is to take care of yourselves, to keep in contact with those that are most important to you. I know that's what Stan would want. He'd want us all to come together in this time of great need by staying apart, even though it hurts. For the good of everyone. For the good of everyone, stay apart, but make sure you keep in contact. In the meantime, have a great day, everyone. Keep it nerdy, and Excelsior.
Hi, heroes. This is Stan Lee coming at you. Want you to know, Marvel has always been and always will be a reflection of the world right outside our window. That world may change and evolve, But the one thing that will never change is the way we tell our stories of heroism. Those stories have room for everyone, regardless of their race, gender, religion, or color of their skin. The only things we don't have room for are hatred, intolerance, and bigotry. That man next to you, he's your brother. That woman over there, she's your sister. And that kid walking by, hey, who knows? He may have the proportionate strength of a spider. We're all part of one big family, the human family, and we all come together in the body of Marvel. And you're part of that family. You're part of the Marvel universe that moves ever upward and onward to greater glory. In other words, Excelsior!